Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. My name is Karina Lewis from the Crafton Hills Tutoring Center, and today I'm going to go over a few tips on how to prepare for your test. All right. So one of the first things that I would do to prepare for a test is to make sure you prepare in advance. You want to start studying as soon as possible. For example, if you know you have a test coming up in 2 weeks or 1 week, start studying today, right away. You want to make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to study. And also, we want to make sure that you have time to ask your teacher any clarifying questions or things that you're confused with while you're in class, at the end of class, or even if you can send your teacher an email. But you want to do all of that in advance. You don't want to be sending your teacher an email last minute asking to clarify a question the day of the test. I would really suggest that once you know that you have a test coming up, pay attention in class and start asking your teacher anything you're confused with. I also get asked a lot, how long should I study or how many hours should I study for? And my real suggestion is to really just study until you know the material. For people, it's different how many hours it takes for them to get to understand the material. So everyone, it very much varies. So I can't say, oh, maybe study for 6 hours or for 3 hours, for example. I do think it varies depending on the material and depending on how well you understand it. So I would just study until you know the material, until you are confident that you can pass the test. The next thing that I would definitely do to prepare for your test is to organize and review your notes. So you can organize your notes according to date, to class date, and also organize them according to what is actually going to be on the test. For example, if you have chapters 5 through 7 and that's going to be on the test, then you probably don't need chapters 1 through 4 in your notes to go over for this particular test. So I would organize your notes, during the semester, and when you're in school, sometimes everything can get disorganized. So I would make sure you organize it so that you know where everything's at, essentially. And then I would also go through your notes and review them. Look at anything you highlighted or underlined, and also read through it and do some more annotating of maybe the key terms or important information. Sometimes teachers are nice and they will say, this is going to be on the test, write that down. Maybe if you remember that, put a star next to it. And also underline or highlight maybe some information that you may have been struggling with, because then you could know, okay, I need to go back to this and really know this and learn it. And maybe that could also be something that you can get help with through your teacher or one of your classmates, or even at the tutoring center as well. So organize and review your notes. If you're not familiar with Cornell notes, that is a great way to take notes while you're actually in class, and it helps keeps information organized. So if you aren't using Cornell notes right now, I would suggest to take that up and use it. If you need help figuring out what is Cornell Notes and how to use them, how to apply them, you could always come into the tutoring center and schedule an appointment with any of the tutors. We all have been trained on how to use Cornell Notes. All right, so the next thing that I would do is definitely review all of the class slides and readings. So if your teacher did put up any PowerPoints that he or she went over in class, I would definitely go back and review them, read them, see what you're not understanding, see what you are understanding, and then again, ask your teacher for any clarifying questions. The teacher's slides or PowerPoints, if they do have them, can give the students a real idea of what it is expected for the students to understand and know, and also learn. So sometimes everything that's on the slides may not be on the test, but it is important to know everything and understand everything that is on the slides, because it possibly could be on the test. And then your class readings, if you had any textbooks to read, any chapters out of a textbook, or any academic journals to read, I would definitely go back over those articles or chapters and review anything that you annotated. Like if you had something printed out to read, what did you highlight? Why is that important? You could start making the connections and how that will play a part into the test. And then also, if you have any course readings, you could review sections of the bold text, or sometimes for some chapters, there'll be a summary at the end as well. So I'd also make sure to pay attention to that. But reviewing your class slides and readings is definitely necessary to help prepare for the test. And my next advice would be to put this into practice. So depending on what kind of test you have, it would be different of how you practice this. But say if you have a test like maybe in sociology or even maybe history or something like that, you might be able to create some flashcards of maybe like the key terms that you're supposed to know. And you can create flashcards using index cards. If you don't have index cards, you could just cut up some lined paper or blank paper into squares and make them that way. Or if you could also use Quizlet online. They also allow you to create your own flashcards, and that will be a digital way to do it as well. And you could also quiz yourself that way. And with the flashcards, or through Quizlet, you could quiz yourself, or what you could do is have somebody else quiz you as well. So when you're feeling pretty confident that you know some key terms or that you know the answer, you should be able to look at the question and repeat back the answer to the person or even to yourself. And that will give you a good understanding if you're really familiar with these terms or the information just kind of off the top of your head. For subjects like maybe math, you could also put the information into practice by doing similar practice problems. So in a lot of math classes, I know that some math classes use like MyPearson, and you'll have to do sometimes your homework through that website as well. And when you're doing your homework, you could also go down and click similar question at the end of say that web browser, and it will give you similar problems to that type of problem essentially. And that's also a really good way to help put that into practice, especially if you're struggling with math. I would do the homework like multiple times, and it doesn't hurt. So those are just some ways to put some of the things in practice depending on what subject you are studying for. My last tip advice is really to take care of yourself. A lot of times in school, a lot of us just kind of go, and we need to get things done. And it is important that we get things done, but it's also important that we take some time to take care of ourselves. So as you're prepping for the test, well in the week advance, you need to make sure that you're staying hydrated, you're getting plenty of sleep, maybe go to sleep and wake up early. Especially the night before the test, you want to make sure you're not staying up all night and trying to cram in studying. If you prepare in advance, you should be studying, over the course of time, maybe over the week or 2 weeks, just to make sure you're prepared. So go to sleep early, and then maybe on the test day, you could wake up early and study a little bit before the test. Something that I do is I wake up early on test day. I make sure that I have a balanced meal. Not all tests are in the morning, so make sure you do have breakfast. If your test is later in the day, make sure you have lunch or a snack as well. But something that I also do is I try and get to class 10 to 15 minutes early so that I could review my notes and my flashcards real quickly just before the test starts. So that's one of the reasons why I would say it's better to just go to sleep and then wake up early and finish whatever you need to do for studying. It's best that you just need to review the stuff in the morning before the test. So prepare in advance, make sure you take care of yourself. If you need help with any kind of studying tips, you could always make an appointment with somebody at the tutoring center, and we'd be happy to help you. But yeah, the main thing is make sure you prepare in advance, keep on top of it. Organize and review your notes, review your class slides and readings, put the methods into practice with either flashcards or practice problems. And again, make sure you take care of yourself. All right, well, those are my tips for now. And again, if you have any questions or need help with studying tips, always feel free to make an appointment at the tutoring center. And thank you for watching.